casually dressed and deep in conversation with me, Greg Chalmers. CDDC is sponsored by Pizza Daddy, Lanarkshire's #1 American-style pizza parlour. To stay up to date on new flavours and promotions, then get connected on the socials. The Instagram handle is @RealPizzaDaddy and the website is www.thepizzadaddy.co.uk. To see what we're getting up to here at Casually Dressed, then you can find us on Instagram with the handle @CDDC Podcast, and on Twitter it is @PodcastCDDC. Also, as you're watching this on YouTube, then please hit those like and subscribe buttons. And with me today on this crisp, chilly Sunday morning is my co-host Christopher Shields.
How you doing, Big Velvet? How's things?
I'm fabulous, mate. I am fabulous. Thank you for letting everyone know that my nickname's Big Velvet. I appreciate that.
Anytime, mate. Anytime.
Oh, cheers, mate. Our guest today is Scottish actress Danielle Jam. How are you this morning, Danielle?
Hi, Greg. Hi, Chris. I'm good.
The name Big Velvet, it's kind of... I think Greg was talking about a new business venture. And I don't know, we were messed about with names. And I think I came up with a name, kind of Velvet Photography. And he's like, actually, you know what? It kind of suits you. It kind of suits Greg's personality. So it was just one of those names. I was like, I don't know, the name just stuck. I just started kind of just making fun. I called him Velvet, and then I was like, actually, Big Velvet, that suits you. So it's stuck, and he's now kind of just called like Big Velvet.
It sounds like a Sesame Street character or something. I don't know. Like it's really, yeah, cuddly.
But it's one of those ones. So if you say to people, and you're like, Greg, Big Velvet, they go, no, and they're like, yeah, no, that completely works. So,
yeah. Oh well, cool.
Yeah.
I know a bit more about you.
Exactly. It's the Big Velvet.
Yeah.
Aye. Well, thank you both for that.
Welcome. We're interviewing you today, Greg.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm feeling strong. Right, okay. So, the kind of obligatory question that has plagued our podcast is, how has your lockdown and COVID and all that been, Danielle?
Like roller coaster, up and down, pretty much. Everyone else, like, haven't had like a job since March, so that's fun. Just been kind of trying to pass the time as quickly as possible, and I feel like the time is going by. Oh, it's going by like it goes really quick, but also not fast enough. I've been on hold for a job that was meant to start in April, and then it got pushed to July, and then October, and now they're saying November, so it's like it just keeps getting pushed back. So it's been a case of like, I could go out and get like a job somewhere else, well, try and get a job somewhere else, like, you know, at something, but like who's gonna keep someone on when like they're gonna disappear for like 5 months. So it's been pretty of trying to stay like not put too much pressure, because I don't know about you guys, but I found like motivation was just like gone, because I was like, what am I getting up for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm exactly the same, man. Trying to motivate yourself when the whole world is shut down, it just seemed a bit pointless, really.
Mm-hmm. I know, I just think like, what's the point? As like bleak as that sounds, I don't know. I've been colouring in, doing puzzles, planting, like, putting flowers out on the balcony, like that kind of thing, like doing stuff that you think you should just get done, that you kind of put off and things. I've been sort of doing that, but we just moved into our flat like the start of the year, which is mad to think that we're like, December we'll have had the flat for a whole year, like that just, and we moved in, and then like basically lockdown happened, so like we haven't really been out and about too much, but I mean, it's good to have a home, but yeah, I just feel like I'm ready to leave it now because I've been here long.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been probably in a slightly different predicament from you both, in that we actually moved. So we moved from, I was living in the south of England, and I moved over to Northern Ireland as the literally. I mean, it was, we got on it, and we were kind of moving into my mother-in-law's for what was only meant to be a kind of 8 to 12 week kind of period. And literally as we got unpacked, we brought it forward a week because the way I saw things going, I thought we probably should get over there kind of quickly. And yeah, the lockdown kicked in, and we've just been in this kind of period, so we're kind of stuck here. So I'm here living with my mother-in-law's, my wife, 2 kids and a dog.
Oh, bless you.
Should be
You don't need to feel sorry for him, Danielle. Just laugh at him.
But
Man.
no, I know. I've essentially been that guy where people have gone, you know what, I'm really struggling. But Chris is living with his. Yeah, Chris is. Things are all right. I've been that guy. I mean, so
you have been helping out, like other people.
Yeah, well, see, to be fair, yeah, helping everyone out. But we've had one of the good things to come from this has been this podcast. Actually, it's kind of given us something to focus. Genuinely, it's given us something to focus on, and when things were stagnant, we like it. Things were stagnant for everybody. We managed to get we managed to have something to kind of focus our time and energy into.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been one of the positives. That's something that
to have that like consistency and routine. Like I realized how much like I just crave a routine. Like when
100%.
Yeah, when it's just totally gone. So have you been doing it like just since the start of lockdown, or have you been doing this like before that?
Well, we started in
January time, wasn't it? It started.
January, yeah. We were kind of talking about it in December, and then we started it in January. We didn't really know what we were doing, but not saying that we know now.
I know, yeah.
But
like we've got it all under control now.
Well, we've got it on lock. And then we just carried it on. It's one of these things that life would have probably got on the road if COVID hadn't happened. So silver lining, I suppose. And I think that and it's great for us because people have been so much more available. We've had like Olympians and all that on, and they would never have been available because they would have been at the Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah, totally.
So it's you've kind of got to look for positives in all of this, I think, because it'd be really. I mean, my industry, as Chris told you, I'm a photographer. My industry is buggered, absolutely screwed. So you have to try and find other ways to entertain yourself. So it just became me taking self-portraits in the woods and all that. And,
I don't know if I needed that image, but I'm waiting for it.
Just smouldering into the trees.
That's brilliant.
I know. Anyone would have been hilarious for anybody like walking their dog and you just see this big 6'3" guy just standing in the woods himself, just like this.
You know what? Like everyone's brain snapped in some way, so they probably would just accept it. And be fine.
Look at that poor bugger.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, totally.
Oh, bless him.
They probably did it as well. I know. I haven't quite got to taking photos of myself in the woods yet, stage, but yeah, we're getting there.
Slippery slope, man. It's a slippery slope. See, it's something you can't come back from. I think once you've been to that place, it's hard to recover.
A long road. It's a long.
I know. So Danielle, what
as well, like in Loch Lomond, like hopefully there's not like people like cutting about or no.
There's just loads of I mean, I'm probably making this sound worse than it actually is. It's just there's a lot of smouldering going on. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I mean, you've done that before a lockdown anyway. Either that was kind of part of the course. That's just a normal day.
Yeah, normal day in life.
Right, Danielle. So I want to know about your beginnings of being a thespian, if that's the correct word to use.
Yeah, absolutely. When you said beginnings, I was like, oh, childbirth combo's coming up now. It's like, right, okay. I'm from Aberdeen, and growing up, I did a lot of drama and musical theatre groups and school shows and all the rest of it. So it's kind of just a natural progressing path for me to just go into acting. I remember when I was really little, well, I don't remember actually, I think I must have been like, I don't know, 5 or 6. My dad tells me the story that I was in, when you do like the nativity and everything, when you're like a wee one, and I think that I was in that, and then I was at like the very, very back, like in the corner, like you couldn't see me, and I came up to my dad at the end and I was like, Dad, I want to be an actor. And my dad was like, are you sure Like you didn't do anything. You were just like, are you sure you want to do like? And I was like, yeah, I want to be an actor. Like I really like that. Like just being on a stage, even though I was like hidden and with like a, so apparently that's where the beginnings were. But yeah, like nobody else in my family is an actor or a performer or anything. Like not in my immediate family. My mum's side has like some musicians, and I think there's like an actor in there as well. But yeah, I'm kind of like the only one really. But yeah, like just musical theatre, kind of where I started. Then I went to college in Aberdeen, and then went to Queen Margaret University, and studied acting there, where I met the Would You Think of That like recommended about me coming on and everything. So yeah. They're all good pals. And yeah, now I'm here. Now I'm in Glasgow, just following that life.
So did you go to uni or college with, was it Gregor?
Uni.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we went to uni together. I went to college in Aberdeen, and then we went to uni together. Right. Say like QMU, and then I think they said like Napier, because I watched their interview as well. Absolutely buckled like the entire time, like I could not breathe. They're so funny.
Hilarious.
It's just Gregor's face, man. It's just Gregor's face. No matter, he could literally say the alphabet, and I would piss myself laughing.
Yeah.
It's just.
I think like in the nicest way possible, like he's just like physically built for comedy. Like it's fine. He loves me. It's fine. Yeah, we went to uni together. He was definitely very funny in uni as well. But also like I think he's really good at like straight acting as well. Like really like serious, like gritty stuff that you don't really see like in their sketches and that. And as all the boys are, like they're all brilliant. But yeah, I remember like when they first came out with their idea to like create this sketch group, and the whole class just like could not breathe when they came into the room. Like we had these presentations, and we were sitting in this like mini lecture room, and then you just start hearing this like techno beat like rising from like the backgrounds of the corners, and everybody was like giving their like oh, we're going to be doing this play by blah 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 blah, and all the rest of it. And then they just come in with like their trackies and everything, like raving, and we're all like just absolutely in shock. Like how it was just genius. It was so good. So like I'm not surprised that they're amazingly well. Since leaving, like they've done so good, and like they're the only one in our whole year that have like kind of gone down that comedy route, I think, as well. So yeah.
And are you going to their show?
Is that the virtual one?
No, they're doing one at the Classic Grand in April.
They've got one.
In April,
Grand.
Yeah. I've got my tickets for that. Absolutely. It's like there's one like happening soon. No, I have my ticket already for that in April, so that'll be good.
Amazing. Yeah, I think we're going to go, Chris?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're going to get stuff over there. Definitely.
Such a good time. I've been to every one of their shows, like not individual shows, but I've been to.
That's a commitment.
Super fan, like Scotch pie top, like underneath.
Because Chris, we had kind of floated the idea about doing a sketch with them on the podcast for Christmas.
That's right.
Like, I would just love like a sort of a Neddy Jeremy Kyle spat on the podcast. Just them fucking shouting at each other. That'd be amazing, man.
Oh my god!
Like or like a Maury Povich thing, like you are not the da, and then like.
I can totally imagine that happening. That's so good. I remember like I was trying to go to one of their shows at the Auden Moor, and I think I got on the train that went the opposite way by mistake. So I like went down to like Manchester direction and like their entire show, and then came back like in time for it to like just be finished, which was a bit gutting, but it was only the preview, so like I went to go see it at the Fringe. But that's how committed I am. Like I went to fucking Manchester and then I came back and then I still came to see them, so we're finished, so it was all good.
Wow.
Yeah.
So talk to us about Molly and Mack. How did that all come about? Because that's like it's a big deal, man.
Oh yeah. So just through my agent, like I got an agent just before I left uni, and then he put me up for an audition, went to the audition, and then I think the week later was like the date of like my last hand in for uni, and I like just sent that away, and then literally got a phone call like the minute that I'd sent it, saying that I was gonna have that job like over the summer after leaving, which was like really cool. So because the BBC and stuff. So yeah, and so we've done 2 seasons. So yeah, it's been like 2 years. This would be the 3rd year, but this is like the job that's kind of been on hold for the whole year basically. So just kind of.
Do you enjoy making it?
Yeah, it's great. Like, it's just, my character plays a vet in it. My character is a vet, and so I'm just around like different kinds of animals all the time, which is just really yeah, it's interesting because I've met a tarantula and like hamster and pigs and puppies, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. And she's a really cool character as well. Like, she's got cool outfits, and she's like a bit of a rock chick and things. So it's good because it's not like I mean, like, although that would be fun, like other like CBB shows that are very like big and like the presenters and stuff and like over the top, like it is very much that we're just trying to show a sort of family drama, but for young kids. So it's like trying to be not fake in any way, like just kind of, yeah, just regular act, which is good. And the kids are hilarious and like really smart, and yeah, I miss them all a lot. Like it's going to be a really emotional day, I think, when we all get like back in the room together again.
And has there been any kind of inkling of when that's likely to be?
I think we start filming hopefully before the end of the year. We were meant to start obviously like April time, but I mean, like River City's back and other shows and that are back. I think we've had a slightly trickier time with it because there's kids in the show, and we're kind of like the first production team that are trying to go back and put in these health and safety measures, like including the kids, because like they can't get tested like us and stuff, like the adults. Right. So it's been a lot of like phone calls of, we're going to start this date, and then another phone call like, sorry, we can't, like we're gonna have to push it back again. And yeah, it's been a lot of that, and kind of like getting your hopes up for starting and then it not starting. So yeah, like I'm just like holding on for that basically. But when we do start, we're hoping to film like back to back, like 2 seasons.
Oh wow.
So it should be like a good long like chunk of work, which will be like so well received.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So so when were the scripts like issued? Was that, it must have been ages ago then, eh? You must have had plenty of time to rehearse.
No, I do not know what's happening at all. Like we haven't.
You think that they would?
No, yeah, you think. I think that one of the issues was that we thought we were going to be able to do this like cohort thing. I don't know if I'm even allowed to speak about all this stuff, but anyway, we're supposed to do this like cohort where we're like, we have to distance within the cast, but because like the kids can't get tested or something, like we can't, I don't know if we can still do that. So they've actually had to write a lot of the scripts as well, so that it makes sense for like, I guess, people not getting too close to each other. I don't know, like we have like, obviously we've discussed like ideas and things that we want to do with the characters and that, but like I don't know anything that's set in stone. And usually by now we have like meetings with a producer and stuff to talk about like animals Daisy's going to meet this season, and if I have a phobia for tarantulas, and if not, then that's good because there's going to be a tarantula on it and all that kind of thing. So, but to be fair, like the tarantula was brilliant because she was like this old like granny, like she was really chill and she was brilliant. But the hamster hated me. Like it was just, that was the worst day at all. And you think the hamster would be like so chill.
The easiest one to deal with, yeah.
Yeah, it was tiny. It was literally like that size. And it just was not at all. Like I could not keep them still, and then I didn't want to let go because then they'd run away, and then it was a whole like nightmare. And me just like having to be happy, like, and pretend that everything's okay. It was a scary time. I was scared of that hamster, I'm not gonna lie, but
filming with a gallus hamster.
Yeah. And that was like the first time I'd held a puppy as well. Like it was a lot of firsts. Like I'd never actually held a dog before and stuff. Like it was good though.
So Chris and I had a wee look at your spotlight and seen that you've done a bit of stage work as well.
Yeah, I have.
And so obviously Chris and I have got absolutely no clue about the differences between stage acting and television acting. So you shine a wee bit of light on that for us.
Yeah.
See, we did the whole spotlight thing. Very funny. Very good.
Spotlight.
Sorry.
Clever,
No,
mate.
I was like, feeling like I'm getting interviewed here of like I am, but you know, like for a job. Well, I mean, I know, like I'm like fingers crossed, please someone hire me. Anyone that's I'm available. I mean,
I'm free.
I'm free. I have no plans. Yeah, stage. Yeah, so like most of my experience has been stage. Like the only screen stuff I've done is me and Mack, and I did a like BBC short as well. But like most of it is stage anyway. So I think with stage, it's a lot more like you have a lot more time to like discuss your character and try out different things, whereas with screen it's like try like one or two things and just get it's all like very choppy, and it's a lot of like waiting in between and stuff as well, so it's very much like I don't know, like spontaneous and in the moment, and whereas stage is like you have a lot more time to play about and develop things, and I think that I really enjoy that because I what's the word? Not a perfectionist, but I'm like really nerdy about like character work, and I think that you can't. I feel like you just can't like do it enough. Like for me personally, like you can't like. There's always something else to be found and stuff. So like I like having as much time as possible to just like properly like rake through a script and that's where I kind of get that joy from. I think I've been thinking about it a lot more as well, like with lockdown, like why I actually do what I do and why I actually enjoy it, because obviously there's a lot of people out there telling us that our professions are not important and that we should go do something else, and I'm like questioning like, well, yeah, maybe I should, to be honest, like what, like I'm not getting any work, and there's a lot of like conversations that I think a lot of us are having with ourselves about like is this actually for me? And the answer is yes, because you want to do it and you train for it, and you should be able to, but like you still have that like that doubt like all the time. Like when I went after I left uni, I went to I did Molly and Mack, and then I did a Play Pint a Pint, and then I did a Christmas show at Dundee Rep Theatre, and then I came back home in January, and I didn't work for like all of January and like all of February, and then I had got a job in end of February, and for like 12 weeks I was thinking, wow, I should just quit this game. Like I shouldn't be acting. Like I'm not getting jobs. Like I'm not doing this. Like it's just so mad, the things that you tell yourself. Like when you just all of a sudden are just out of work and you think that you're just, it's like somebody is never gonna get hired again. But and then I got a job and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, maybe I can do this. I'm actually I'm not. But yeah, I think that a lot of people are definitely feeling like that, and because like you can't really do too much the way you could creatively, because a lot of it has to be online, and theatre online is just not the same. Like it's just not the same as like actually being in the room and soaking up the energy. But like, you know, kudos to the people that are actually doing things and are trying to get content out there and entertain people. Like I think that's brilliant. But you still like, you know, like if you were to like tune into a live stream of something that's like a theatre show, it's just not.
No.
Yeah, so one thing we've talked about this a lot, it's been a kind of, obviously been a big theme, is kind of the impact of coronavirus. And one of the things that's kind of recently come out was the Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, obviously suggesting that people within the creative industries should look at retrading. What are your thoughts on that?
It's just a big insult, isn't it? Like,
Massively.
Like we've been working in the industry, like we've been doing it. Like, why should we have to all of a sudden completely change your career paths. Like, I don't, yeah, I'm sure it was well intentioned. I'm sure he was trying to help. You know, like, I'm not trying to make him an enemy, but like, he's supposed to be there to support us, not
Yeah.
like push us in like a completely different direction. I just think that it's like what we need is like more financial support, more like we just yeah, I don't know. Like, I just think that it's just a bit upsetting that we've had, like, I've been very grateful and lucky that I've been qualified for the self-employment grants, and the first one was 80%, the second one was 70%, the next one's what, 20% or something. That's like nothing.
Yeah.
So I just, yeah, it just doesn't really make sense. I find it hard to watch most of the news nowadays. Like, a lot of the times I do need to just like switch it off, or
Yeah.
like I'm just not going to be functioning for that day. Like, I feel really sensitive to receiving like any news that's going on in the world right now. But I mean, like, most actors, at least, like, obviously I can just speak for actors, but most actors and people working in this industry are working like other jobs. Like, they're doing like different things. There's like working in shops, working in theaters, working, you know, like I was watching this interview with an actor who's also a doctor, like all these other things. Like, we do other things as well. So I don't know. I like, honestly, like, I don't think that I have the answer, because like part of me thinks like, should I actually just go and get another job too and stuff, and but at the same time, I think that a lot of people are noticing, at least since lockdown, how important the arts actually are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you see so many posts about like how much people have relied on it like this whole time. Like, if none of us had a TV, or, you know, like radio or music or anything, like, we'd probably all go nuts and top ourselves, you know, like, I know I
100%.
would.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that that's really hitting a lot more people, like at least the average person anyway, but I don't know if it's getting any further above that. But it is nice to see that sort of solidarity with everyone around. But yeah, I think it's just deeply upsetting, because I feel like we're all in a really vulnerable position right now. So
Yeah, entirely.
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
doesn't feel like we're being cared for.
Yeah, and it kind of suggests that people in those sort of industries are kind of have less of an impact. But I think I think it's one of those things. It's probably down to his actual job. I mean, his job at the moment is to look at things. Everything has a monetary value. I mean, he's the Chancellor of the Exchequer. I mean, that's his job. His job is to look at the pound signs at the bottom of it. So I think, yeah, I don't think he's done it maliciously, but I think it's probably something that's rolled off his tongue.
Yeah.
And
probably forgot he said it like 10 minutes later.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden
yeah, and he's now,
what?
yeah, and he's now just feeling the backlash of the whole. I mean, and the thing is, right, it was quite funny. Like, there was a lot of people going, "Oh, this guy's should be the next prime minister," when he brought in the whole furlough scheme and just found all this money that apparently we didn't have. But all right, cool. And yeah, look at this guy. He's excellent. He's doing all this good job. Boris, you're a bit of a prick, but you're all right, and you're giving us money. And now it's kind of going, no, actually, no, wait, no, wait a minute. Yeah. Blue tie. Nah, no, you're one of them. Yeah. So it's,
you have to be critical of everyone, like,
100%.
Like, trust anyone. Yeah. But the other thing I was going to say is, like, I think that like I saw this like Robin Williams like quote from a film or something that was saying how like important like you know, like survival jobs are, like doctors and mathematicians and engineers and all that's really important, but like art is like what you actually live for. Like, that's what actually makes you want to stay here. And I think it feels like there is a shift, especially like with my friends that aren't in the industry, like seeing how like raging everybody is here that are struggling with it. I think they're picking up on like actually maybe it's not just a hobby or a glorified hobby that people say. Like it is actually a lot of work to put in. Like I've been trained at college for this, I've trained at uni for this, like I'm still learning, like you know, everything that I did at school, that was part of it too. Like I don't know why it's seen as less. Like I think that people must just think that you just get up and just do it and then that's it. Some people, I guess, have that sort of natural thing where they, don't need to think about it so much. But
I think
I don't know, the majority of us put in a lot of work. And like, I'm not even a musical theatre, like, trained actor. Like, the amount of work that goes into dancers and singers and the rigorous training for that is, like, unbelievable. Like I don't know why it's just not seen as
Well, we've got we have a couple of good friends who are professional dancers. With this whole thing that's happened, like my Instagram feed has just been full of him just like kind of slating the government. And I think, but do you know what you were saying about it being a bit appearing as being less? It's because Pete, you enjoy it.
Do you think so?
Yeah, because the majority of people hate their jobs, right? Or they do it just to make money, right? And then you don't start at 9, finish at 5, and do you know what I mean? It's a bit cool. It's not a real job. My job is not seen as a real. See the amount of people that go, aye, but you're not really working, mate, are you? You just nick about taking photos. And you think, it's what people can just see in front of them. Because I love my job and I do nick a bit with a camera, and there's a lot of drinking coffee and a lot of smoking fags and just having a nice time. There's a lot of that, but there's a lot of work that goes on in behind it that people don't see. So it's not seen. You know, if somebody was like working on a building site or something, do you know what I mean? And there's like blood, sweat and tears goes into putting these structures up. And then I'm like, oh yeah, man, I've had a hard day too. Just taking photos. Do you know what I mean? People go, well, wait a minute here. But I mean, just because I'm not physically exerting myself to the same extent doesn't mean that it's any less of a vocation.
Yeah, that's so interesting. That's brilliant. I think that makes a lot of sense, because then you think as well, like how mental health is not like really seen as like important as like physical health as well, or like people just dismiss it too. But then like obviously acting, as physical as it is, like it is also, it's a lot of you just sitting there and thinking about what to do.
I'm actually working just now.
Yeah, I'm actually working. Like, what if I stood up with my leg right? What would that say? Yeah.
Do you think as well that because there's a kind of there isn't as obvious a kind of hierarchical structure within kind of creative industries? So I mean, like if you go into a certain business, there is a definite kind of hierarchy there, or like and then kind of these other kind of your more kind of classic industries. But I get in the kind of creative industries there isn't as obvious.
I think
structure there. But I mean, obviously, this is just me coming from kind of the complete. I'm the other end. I'm probably the least creative. I'm definitely the least creative person in this conversation.
It's maybe
you've also shot the most people. Chris was in the army, by the way, just in case.
Okay. Right. I was like, oh yeah, in the army. That's cool. You're the photographer, Greg. I was really confused. So there you go. You've got that, shooting people. So.
We always need folk that are going to shoot folk.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that it's maybe just because it's not as like obvious or like they're kind of like behind the scenes and like all you see is like the actors.
That's it.
But and then you don't know like who, and because there's like thousands or there's like hundreds of people that work on like film sets and stuff that are all like rolling in the credits, so like you don't know like who's what names and stuff. I guess maybe that.
But I'm pretty sure that somebody who would work on a film set, right, people would probably see them as having a real job. Or what you doing? I'm putting a film set together. Whereas you roll on stage like, ta-da, I'm an angry tree. Right? And then they're like, that's not a shift. But
know.
but if you have one, like, you know, if you've got one goal, if everyone who works on that project has one goal in mind, it takes different people's different attributes to get that job over the finish line. And just because you physically aren't like putting nails in walls and stuff like that, but everyone is contributing to that project. It's just, I think it is what people perceive to be the more valuable or the more strenuous part of that project. Do you know what I mean? That would give
It seems like, I think it seems like the image of it is that if you're gonna be like an actor anyway, that you're just gonna get like lots of money and like not have to do work, and like you're just like made to look pretty all the time, and you just go on and like look really cool, and then you go off and stuff. But that's like the majority, like it's a grind, like it's nothing to do with that at all. Like if you're gonna act, like nobody that I know is acting for the money. Like there's just not a thing at all. Like it is a lot of graft, like it's a lot of rejection, a lot of putting so much work into an audition and not hearing from the people at all, whether you got, like, if you didn't get it, like just having to move on. It's a lot of managing your time. Like if you do have other jobs, it's about balancing that as well, and the expectation that you're just going to constantly be able to drop everything and like zip down to London like within 24 hours. Like it's a lot of stress. It's not like sunshine and roses, and like for people that obviously get more successful and stuff in their career, like that's good. But I think I find it a lot when, if someone asks like, oh, what do you do? And I say that I'm an actor, and they're like, well, what have I seen you in? Then I'm like, well, like I do theatre. And then they're like, okay, I don't care. Like they only care if you're on TV, you know? So yeah, it's weird. And then if I'm like, oh yeah, I am on TV, and they're like, oh, what are you? And I'm like, oh, well, if you've got any like wee ones in your family, like I'm on a CBeebies show and stuff. And they're like, all right, okay. Like it's just a lot of judgment for like, it doesn't matter what you do. Like, but then they only see the final product, don't they? Like they just see you on it, and then that's it.
Yeah. See, when you were talking about rejection, we spoke to Mick Scott, the dancer, and he was talking about the effect that has on your mental health, and especially for dancers, because they are purely judged on what their body looks like and what they can make it do. People are just like, nope, too fat, nope, too ugly, right? And it's harsh, right? So, do you think that there is a large amount of the acting community that suffers from depression or any of these sort of ailments because of the industry?
Yeah, anxiety, definitely, depression for sure. But I think that, I mean, everybody's mental health suffering like right now, but yeah, a lot of people that I know, and actor friends I know have, mental health issues. And I think that some of it is, you know, before getting into the industry, obviously other things, but a lot of it is this as well, and the pressure. And I know a friend that studied musical theatre, and then it was just too much for her, and she ended up going to college after that and studying like chemistry and like going to be a chemist. So I know, right? Because she's good at science as well. But like from what the stories that she told me was very much that she was judged on a daily basis. Like they had dance classes every day. I have another friend who was speaking about this on social media last night. Like they're constantly looking at themselves in like mirrors, like all around the room, like comparing their body sizes and stuff. And I think there is still that stigma that you have to look a certain way, even though like we are trying to change that a lot. And I feel like it's not as much for like straight acting, like if you don't do like musical theatre, but I think there is a lot more pressure for people that are in MT to get that, because there's like the dance element as well, like you say, like with like you have to look like everyone has to be the same height or, you know, same shape and things. You don't want people to be standing out and stuff. And I know, like, I don't think I could hack that kind of pressure and stuff, and the competition as well with like singing. And yeah, I think that we had quite a good time at uni, because our class was like really supportive of one another, and we were all like really, like, they're all brilliant. Like I absolutely love everybody in my class, and I think we were all really supportive of each other, which was great. But yeah, I have heard a lot of stories. This is like more just to do with training, I guess, where there's a lot of pressure, and I've heard of like tutors that like their method is to just break you down and just completely just break who you are, and then like build you up like how they want you to. And that leaves a lot of people with like trauma and depression and stuff. And there's been a lot of chat since the Black Lives Matter movement's like kicked off again as well, with like how different drama tutors and lecturers have been treating their minority ethnic group students, and that a lot of that's coming to light. And yeah, there's a lot of different layers to it, and you're being judged on how you act as a person, like not just it's you as a character, but you yourself are being judged, how you emote, how you speak, like I've had like a lecturer tell me that I had to lose my Aberdonian accent, or like just not use it ever because like I don't pronounce my T's and stuff. Like they're a bit old fashioned, but they were very harsh on that, on like they were like, you're either gonna have to like just not do this accent at all, or you're gonna have to like have it but then also know when to like not use it and to like speak properly or whatever. So yeah, it's a lot of like identity stuff that you kind of shed off, because I think that what I absolutely love but also is hard to deal with is that when, for example, like if you're a builder or whatever, like your product is the house, like if you're a company, like your product is like that business. When you're a performer, your product is your body and your voice and you yourself. And that's what, like, I really enjoy that, because obviously that like it just feels really, it's just something totally different. Like no other profession does that, but also it is a lot of looking at yourself and analyzing things and yeah, it can really, really get at you. And when you get a rejection from a job, it's hard not to take that personally, because it's 100%. You've put your whole heart into something. You've put so much work into how you're going to bring yourself to a character, to a part, and then to have that rejected, of course, it's going to feel like people like think that you're gross or disgusting or like not right for something. And I think it's important to find a good, healthy way to separate that, so that you don't feel so that you know that, like, because a lot of the time it is a technical thing. It's that we can't have two brunettes in the same like shot or whatever, you know what I mean? So but it's still it's so easy to take that personally, and when there's like such big spans of not having work as well. And like I say, like I was out of work for like 2 months, and I was like, I should just quit this. Like I should go be a chemist or something, you know, like. And then you get a job, and it's like, okay, cool. But there's a lot of competition, and especially this year, there's a lot more competition because everybody's out of work. So there's even less likely of a chance that you're gonna get the job too. So like I've had like quite a few self-tape auditions and things, and not had anything and stuff. So yeah, you need to have like your own confidence that like nobody can take away from you, in a way that other professions don't need that, I guess. So
I also kind of see, when we were talking about the mental health issue, I also think, especially with people who are on a daily basis dredging up emotions to try and portray a certain character. You know, if you're every day you're going on to set and you're playing a character who is going through some sort of tumultuous ordeal, it must be hard to go, like, when someone goes cut, to go and shake that off and not take that home with you. You know, like, and to not still have a very small part of you like at home after it who still is feeling that way. And I think someone, if you're doing that on a daily basis, that cannot be healthy.
No, yeah. I think when we were at uni, we were given the options to try like method acting, which is obviously very much like you're bringing up emotions and memories from your past to like help you act. And then like more like Meisner style, which is like imagination. Your imagination's like a better tool than your trauma kind of thing.
Yeah.
Our lectures kind of push that to be like the healthier route, which I'm grateful for. But it's even still like, even if you're not thinking about like your dead gran or whatever, like it still can get you. So yeah, I think that that's true. I don't think that I have. I was on a show, a spoken words show, like it's like half poetry, half like monologue. I don't know like how much you might know about it and stuff, but I was doing a show with that, and that was very like personal, and we kind of had a part in kind of like writing some of it as well, and it was about like the millennial generation and like our mental health and like kind of growing up with the internet and stuff like that. And it was got very emotional. It's very, and you felt very vulnerable. But I guess it's about finding a healthy system to just take care of yourself as well. Like you are in the business of laying it all out and being vulnerable for people to take what they will from it and either like relate to it or not, or connect to it or not. But either way, like you are like basically just going up there naked in a way to just lend yourself to that.
That takes a certain type of person though.
Yeah.
I think, and because, and it kind of harps back to how people were saying about it not being a real job or whatever. Like, how many people, are like, I don't know, work for the council and lay it all out in front of folk and like, you don't like, I'm cutting the grass emotionally today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean?
No. Yeah, you can just like hide how you're feeling or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
you can go in there and just like high five the boys that you work with. Yeah, lads, and all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you're on stage doing your thing day in, day out, that
you're bringing in like whatever you're bringing in that day. Like like even if you try to just like breathe and like get into whatever like zone you need to or headspace, like you're still bringing in like whatever's happened to you. And like I've known actors who's like had like parents like pass away like the day before a show and like have still gone on and like given like amazing performances and all the rest of it. And I think we're just expected to do these crazy things like and just because we have signed up for I will be your emotion on a plate. Like that's like it's like, okay, cool, like we need you to like, you had a funeral this morning, but just like come down and give us your best like performance of like Happy Days or whatever. So it's crazy.
Is it quite difficult going from say if I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but if you're doing Mack and Molly, right, where it's all very happy and all that sort of stuff, but if you had like a theatre job on at the same time, and is it quite easy to switch between being like hey and then still get into character for something else? Because I think if it was me, I'd find that really difficult.
I'm trying to think, like, I don't think I've been lucky enough to have two jobs at the same time.
Don't want to rub it. Sorry. Didn't want to rub that in.
Cheers, Greg.
No, it's all good. I'm
a real piece of shit, right, Greg?
I wish there was a thumbs down reaction now. Yeah. I'm trying to think, I'm sure I have had, I just can't remember of having a job like that, but but that's the thing, that's what you're trained to do. That's part of your work, that's your job, to be able to have like one part of your brain like working in a certain way and then switching that off for a bit and then like bringing out like a different part. And like I've definitely had auditions when I've been filming Molly and Mack where it's like it's like really dark and stuff, and then you have to come on and like be like child friendly and stuff. But I think that it's more just I think it's more personal life that affects how you are on set rather than if you've got other like different characters on your mind and things. But it definitely like had days where like you'll be rehearsing for something, but you're also like looking over lines for an audition for something else that's like completely different. So like you're trying to do like multiple things at once.
Yeah, I can't even remember who it was I was watching, and they were talking about how actors kind of are not the most stable bunch. Like there's and what they were saying is like, these people can cry on cue, right? That is not a stable person. You can go, ah! Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's true, but see when you think about it. See, just
it's
being
like
able to
having
go.
that balance, but also it's like trying to be healthy, but also like being able to just be completely have like the mask off, but also like have the mask on to protect yourself too. Like it's an interesting balance, but yeah, I love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's what I was kind of going to go into next. Obviously, you do enjoy it. You love it. It's your thing. And I think if you love something, you should stick with it. Very much so. Yeah, so, what does the future hold? What would you like to do in the future? Are you thinking film? You want to do more theatre work? Do you want to pack it in and work for a council?
Option 3, no. Never option 3 if I can help it. I failed my science at school. I was terrible at science. I was not a creative person. I was a creative person. I was not a sciencey person at all. So hopefully Molly and Mack will start up again. And then it's like you can have plans. I feel like I've learned like you can have plans, but it's probably things are just gonna mess up your day. Like they're not gonna come true, but like you can make plans, but you also need to just go with the flow. Like I feel like I've never really had like this like one big like dream goal role or whatever. Like I just want to ride the wave and like I didn't think I was going to be on a kids show and stuff. So but I would like to like I really like Shakespeare. Like I'd love to do Shakespeare at like Royal Shakespeare Company and do like I really like classical plays as well. Like I'd love to do stuff like that, like on stage. I think that like theatre is definitely where like my heart is, just because that's what I've been brought up with and stuff, and it feels more because it's linear as well. Like you feel like you're more just in that character's story. But yeah, film as well. Like I haven't done like a feature length film, so I'd love to be able to do something like that as well. But honestly, like I just I'm trying to be realistic in terms of timelines and just knowing that it's just going to be a little longer before the kind of opportunities that people are hoping for will be coming up. Like I think I saw like I don't know if it was Broadway. No, it might have just been theatres in general. Like an article recently that was like theatres getting set to open up back for 2022, and I was like, oh my god, like that's like another extra year. Like I think that next year will probably bring trying to make like my own things and trying to make my own work.
So that's what
that aspect as well.
I was going to say that to you about trying to write something for yourself. You know, obviously, if the opportunities aren't coming to you, then make your own opportunity.
Yeah,
I like that.
A lot of people are doing. That's what I think. That's what a lot of people did when they left uni. Anyway, like I feel like our course talks a lot about like how to like be an actor and not just how to act. If that makes sense, like how to actually be, proactive. And we had this business plan assignment where we had to do like 6 months business plan of like your acting career, and then like 6 months business plan of like an alternate or like side hustle like career on the side to like keep you going and stuff, like when you're out in and out of work and everything. So I think that we like half of us were like a little insulted because we're like, no, I'm gonna be the big star when I leave and I'm gonna have to worry about anything. But I think a lot of us are also grateful for that like side plan as well. For like working in the shops or whatever. Which is what we're all gonna have to do now. So.
Well, I mean that's it, and I was sort of saying to my pal Mick, he had to get a job in a bar, and he said he's like, Greg, see when you go in London, especially when you go into London, a lot of the bar staff are models, actors, but dancers and stuff like that. He's like, it's a right theatrical occasion when you go for a pint. Do you know what I mean? Lager, sir.
I know. Yeah, singing like musical numbers in their chords. I know. Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of actors in them. Yeah, all different professions, and then.
Have you ever thought about doing voiceover work?
Yeah, I think that would be great. Like, I just want work. Like, it's not like I haven't thought about it.
Yeah, of course.
I think that. Yeah. Please hire me, anyone. Yes.
We'll just get we'll get your contact details to scroll along the bottom of the screen.
Spotlight link will just like edit my name with the link there. But I have like luckily there's been Pearson Casting, this casting company, have been putting out a lot of videos with like workshops, and like they're all free. Things like called CCI or something, and there's like so many videos of like for performers for doing voice work and different accents and stuff. So that I think that's been keeping a fair amount of folk going as well, like just keeping that like creativity going and things like that too. So yeah, we'll just see. And then I think that a lot of people were thinking, right, I'll come out with this with a totally new skill, and like I'll be able to speak French fluently and you know, grade 6 guitar and stuff. But yeah, it's the thing with the motivation thing again, like as like trying not to call yourself lazy for just not wanting to get out of bed some days, but it's a lot of shit going on. So
yeah. It's do you know, I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, and you try and make plans for the future, but in the past when you've tried to make plans, you know where the parameters are, you know what pitch you're playing on. Do you think, well, whereas now you can't make plans because you don't know where the parameters are. You don't know what you're going to be allowed to do. You don't know what industry's going to fall on its ass. You don't know where. Like, do you know what I mean? So, for example, I used to shoot a shit ton of weddings, hundreds of them. I was doing like 100 weddings a year, right? And you think, I'm in the money.
Yeah.
Not anymore, right? Weddings are fucked. So. Yeah. So you think, right, okay, so you go back to the drawing board, and I used to do a hell of a lot of commercial photography when I first began, so you think, right, I'll go back to that, food, advertising and all that, and you try and make a plan, and then, boom, no food, restaurants are all shut, big man. You think, and you need to go and go back to the drawing board, so it's really, really difficult, like, to try and make a plan when you don't know what the scenario is going to be, you know, and I think for creatives, I think referring back to what our esteemed Chancellor said to us, that's all good and well, mate, but if you try and retrain in something, you could just end up back in the same position, because you could go, oh no, actually, like, I'll like, that's not happening anymore. And you go, fuck. Do you know what I mean? So it's just really difficult, and I think that it kind of leaves people feeling full of ennui. You know what ennui, Chris, is? No, I can see Chris's face going, what is ennui? Ennui is basically a feeling of listlessness, of kind of with no direction. And I think that's what's happening. We're just going to be, a lot of people are going to be suffering with just, they've got no direction, and whenever they try and be proactive and go in a certain direction, boom, the shutter comes down, you go, shit. And after a while, folk are just going to go, fuck it, I'm going to go to Thailand and just work behind a bar for a year and come back when everything's settled down. Genuinely. And I think, so I don't think, I think without sounding too down and kind of abandoning society and all that, but it's fucked. Everyone's fucked. It's
that
fucked.
actually makes me feel a bit better, because then I'm like, okay, I'm off the hook. Like, there's no pressure.
There is no pressure.
Right now,
there is no pressure, and that's the other thing as well. This whole COVID scenario has been a great equaliser from the top to the bottom. Everybody fucked. The only people that made money are folk who sell face masks and fucking rubber gloves. Right, that's it. Everything else is shagged. Right,
I know.
Right, so do what you want to do. Do what makes you happy. Right, that's where. Right, because otherwise, if you're thinking, oh no, I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. Well, fuck it. Nobody's able to do anything they want to do. So just go out and walk some hills. Fucking go and take self-portraits in the woods. Do whatever you want to do. Whatever makes you feel happy.
He's trying to justify for taking self-portraits.
But that there is it. If you cannot fucking go and do what is making you money or whatever. Just do what makes you happy, because it will get you through these uncertain times. And then hopefully when things start to come back to some form of normality in fucking 5 years or whatever it's going to be, then look at it again. But see, right now, what's the fucking point in worrying? Because you don't know. Nobody knows. So just fucking go. I've swore a lot there. Just fucking.
I was worried because I was like, I always think like when I do interviews and stuff of like I better not swear because like there might be kids watching and stuff like for CBBS and that, but now I've just totally fucked it, so it's all good. We'll just leave it.
No.
No. There's no kids watching this. Like definitely not.
So on you, like, do you know it's funny? Our podcast gets shared for like it was like the Inverness Rowing Society or something. I don't know. What was it? Wasn't it? It was the Inverness Rowing Club.
Yeah, it was because we had Alan Sinclair on, who was an Olympic
rower, and they shared it, and it just put underneath it was like contains extremely strong language.
Extremely.
But it's just me going, fuck this, man.
Totally. No, it's all good then. That's fine.
Yeah, and also on YouTube we put not for kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right then.
But it's going to be funny if any kids were like, "Oh, look who it is," and then you're just like, "Fuck this, man."
I know.
Yeah,
it's so good because it's funny. Like, if see kids like. Well, I don't like see them now as much, but like before, like when the show first came out, like you'd kind of get noticed by like wee kids and stuff if you're out and about, and I always just have to like check myself, like because there's always
smoke
like
a fag.
Kid, I know. Well, I mean, like I don't smoke, but like like co-stars and stuff. It's really funny. Like they're always like hiding their fags and stuff. But like I just remember like there's so many little kids that they'll just like stare at you because like. You know, like they recognize
you.
Yeah, like, but you know when you walk past if you walk past a baby and the baby's like just like eyeballing you, it's like a lot of that. And sometimes you think, oh, are you just staring at me because I've got big hair, or is it because like, you recognize me, or And then I remember like when I was getting off the train once and I saw this this kid was staring at me for ages. And then the mum was like, oh, he recognises you off of Molly and Mack. And I was like, oh, hi. And then he just like hid behind his mum. And I was like, I've just never felt more awkward in my life. Like, it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's what kids do, man. Kids do that.
And I just I just don't know how to talk to kids. Like, it's just, you think I get better at it, but like, I don't know what to do.
I've got two of them. And there is no hard and fast rule. Like, one minute they'll be like dead chatty, and the next minute they'll be like,
not responding.
It's just how it goes. Like, no, I don't want to talk to anyone. Yeah, that's just how it goes, man. They're just strange little creatures. Kids up.
Right, okay, guys. Well, I'm just mindful of the time just now.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I know. We've been fucking talking for ages, man. A lot of that has been swear words. I know. But Danielle, listen, I'm going to call it a day there, but thank you ever so much for coming on. And I hope that things pick up a bit for us all, actually. This is a message to the world. Be happy, folks.
Yeah.
The world might be fucked, but Greg says be fucking happy.
There is no pressure to do anything at all. Just colour in some books and plant some flowers and try and get money from
Take woodland photos.
Yeah. Take some selfies.
Take some selfies. Use your extremely expensive. Yeah, use your extreme. Do you know what? But it's not even just like taking selfies, man. I'm literally going out with like a full lighting setup.
No, I'm sorry. We're just totally belittling this. I'm actually really impressed that you were doing something. Like, that's brilliant. Like, I've not been doing.
Well, do you know? And it didn't. It wasn't born purely from vanity. I promise you, it wasn't. Right? No, it wasn't, Christopher. It was because I thought to myself, if we're going to be out of work for like God knows how long, I don't want my skills to diminish.
Yeah.
I want to stay sharp. Mm-hmm. So I was taking my camera, but I was setting lights up in the woods and fucking smouldering, and then going, right, okay, cool, and then so I was staying sharp. So that's what it was, Chris. It was not me just. I know the phrase "one for the gram" was said a lot.
Absolutely was. Yeah.
Take one, but that's one. Shouting it to myself in the woods. Oh, that's one for the gram.
walking past saying, "Oh God, you're a deer."
Yeah, but you've got to stay sharp, and that was my thinking. And on top of that as well, I really enjoyed taking photographs, and the whole thing was you weren't allowed to be mates with anybody else in that time, so you get nobody to. Plus, actually, nay mates. You better know of any mates.
Changed, you know. Check your contact list, please.
You ain't there with any mates. Because it was actually one of our other friends. He just became newly single. At the start of lockdown, and I was like, Tinder, bro, just get yourself on Tinder. You'll be kicking with gas. And then he like showed me the pictures he was putting up, and I went, oh God, it's an atrocious bin bag.
Did you take photos for him?
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, you did.
I was like, follow me into the woods, like some sort of sexy Pied Piper.
We did that. Me and my partner did a wee play, online, kind of film play of the spoken word piece about what would it be like if you broke up with your partner in lockdown and you started to live together. So it was really happy. Yeah. So I don't know when that's coming out, but that'd be
good, man.
We enjoyed it because it was acting. You know, we could actually do something creative. But after rehearsals, we were like, I don't hate you. Or we'd still feel like really nippy at each other. It's that thing that's it, when you're done, it still affects you.
Yeah.
We're a bit getting on each other's nerves afterwards, and then have to be like, God, it's the play, it's just affecting us because we're arguing in that.
It's just, what would that be like if you broke up with somebody you stayed in the same house as them?
I think I know somebody that no, I do actually know someone that happened to, and they were like, we broke up, yay! They were fake laughing so hard that my heart shattered in an instant.
I would just, would you not?
So rough.
Would you not just say to them, look, after lockdown finishes, we shall break up. But see, in the meantime, let's just hold hands.
Keep
shagging. I don't know about you. But
here's my suggestion, right? This is how you start.
I don't know about you, but I think we should keep shagging.
This is my roadmap to lockdown survival.
Yeah, you got a fair point. Wake up, shag.
Life's hard enough without any shagging.
During the day, I'll just ignore you.
Yeah, but at night time, shagging. Right, okay, guys. We're going to finish this because we're going to go down a shagging rabbit hole here. We don't want that. I can't believe I just said shagging rabbit holes. Wow.
We've said shagging a lot there, right?
Right, okay. Anyway, guys, I'm going to just sign off just now. So, thank you for listening, folks. Please hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Thank you.